Today we are super excited to be doing something I've never seen done before, and so I'm not going to be super educated on it. I'm thinking it's going to be kind of similar to what we do with the horses. So we are flushing Bluebell today. Flushing meaning we've bred her already a few days ago, and now we let the embryos mature for a few days, or hopefully there's embryos, and then we are going to flush them and then hopefully be able to freeze them and put them into not donor cows. I'm getting everything mixed up. She's the donor cow. Putting them into recip cows, meaning surrogates, this fall. Very exciting. I've never seen the IVF either. I'm guessing the conventional flush is pretty similar to the horses.
Yeah.
Except with cattle, do you super ovulate them so you get more embryos?
Yeah.
So how do you, is that just with medication?
Yeah. It's 4 days of shots.
4 days of shot. And how many is it possible to get with a conventional? Like,
National average is about 5 good per flush. It ain't saying, I mean, we flush cows where we've got 30 some good.
oh my, a conventional?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
it's all over the board.
Oh wow, that's cool. So their lab is right there, which is cool. I didn't know we were gonna get to know how many embryos today. So with conventional flushing, because they've already been fertilized, it's not like IVF. You flush her, and then what they'll do is they'll palpate each ovary, see how many CLs or corpus luteums there are, and that'll give them kind of a rough estimate of what to expect when they take it into the lab. And then they'll go see how many are actually fertilized or high enough quality to freeze. Because sometimes you have a fertilized embryo, especially when you super ovulate and you have a big number, and some of them just aren't up to the quality that you would want to breed a cow with. So we'll see how many good ones we get. Does that mean there's 13 pounds of poop on it right now?
Probably.
There's no cow on it. It just says 13. It just must be all the poop. So he's palpating her ovaries right now and feeling for CLs, corpus luteums, and seeing how many times she ovulated essentially, so that they have an idea, like a rough estimate of how many embryos they might see when they take it to the lab. But they brought their lab with them. I'm so excited. We get to find out today. So what are you doing right now?
So this is a Foley catheter. Basically, we're passing it through her cervix and right into her uterus, and then we will inflate that cuff or the balloon on the end of that Foley, and that seeds it into the uterus. And so right now, the tip of that catheter is just inside of her cervix in the body of her uterus. And so this system, it's just a gravity flow, two-way system. So you've got a line that goes in, we run fluid into the uterus, fill that uterine horn up, and then we massage that fluid around to try to...
That's literally exactly like it.
Just to suspend those embryos, and then we open an outflow tube, and it comes through this filter over here. There's a screen in the bottom of the tube that traps the embryos in there and lets the fluid run out.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess. I think we're gonna get 5 good ones. I hope more. But that's what I realistically, or maybe even less, but that's what I'm thinking. What's the like possible limit? He said the average is 5, whereas like good ones, but like they've had some that are super fertile have like 30, but that's probably not what's gonna happen with her.
So Katie, so what we typically do is I infused her uterus with penicillin with a little bit of Lutelice in it. I'll give her a shot of Lutelice today. If you don't see a heat out of her by, what's today, Wednesday, next Wednesday, give her another dose of Lutelice.
Gotcha.
So I don't know.
Make sure there's not one hanging around.
Exactly.
I mean, that's not terrible of a job. Like, that took what, 20 minutes? That's all she's got to do every now and then? Not a bad gig.
So I've kind of got them sorted into 3 piles. So there's a pile on the far right hand side. Those are your 3 good embryos. And so the pile, say at 6 o'clock, those are 2 fertilized embryos, but we'll call them degenerates today. I just don't think there's enough cell mass there.
So it depends on what you're seeing inside of it.
Yep. So
okay.
you've got your outer shell, which is they call it the zona, and then the inner cells is what actually makes the cap.
Right.
And so we want those to look more like those 3 on the right.
See, I see the difference in those top 2 versus the others, but I don't. I guess it takes a way more trained eye to see the difference between the others.
Well, and 2, it's a 3-dimensional structure. You're looking at it in a 2-dimensional plane, so you can roll those and you can see how they're not.
Gotcha.
They're just more diffuse in there. And then the other pile on the far left, those are non-fertilized. They're starting with a base of follicles, right? And so they're going to have that whether or not we superovulate them or flush them regardless. So all we're doing with the flushing procedure is we're giving them more follicle stimulating hormone than their body naturally produces.
So you're not making them dump their eggs faster. It's just
we're essentially rescuing those follicles that would die in a normal cycle.
I see.
Yep.
So yes, we did get 3 embryos from Bluebell that are mature, that are good, that have enough, stuff in the middle of them. That was crazy to actually look at it under the microscope and see the differences between unfertilized and kind of subpar embryos versus the ones we're keeping. But on the other hand, we are waiting on babies from Bella and Buttercup. Today is their due date. They are 145 days pregnant today. They can go as long as like 155, 156. So we will have babies in the next 2 weeks, and I'm thinking we're getting close. So they are ruining my 4th of July plans. I mean, I could have called that. That was poor planning on my part. But hope y'all enjoy, and stay tuned for baby goats. Stay tuned for cattle breeding in the future with those embryos. Stay tuned for calving season in a couple months. Lots of stuff is coming. So hope y'all enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any questions, and stay tuned for the next episode.